A seasoned media consultant, publicist, and a political event planner. Steve Rabinowitz served former President Bill Clinton as Director of Design and Production for the White House. He also served as a U.S. Senate Communications Director and Press Aide. Steve has worked on the national staffs of 9 U.S. presidential campaigns and has held positions on countless other political campaigns. That's why he's in charge of them. Just kidding, Steve. He trains young political press aides around the country and has organized every national Democratic communications training since 1996, writing the curricula and serving as lead trainer. Steve has studied political science and journalism, with special interest in public opinion and voter behavior, and the relationship between politics and the media, and he's a great guy. Steve, please feel free to join us.
Thank you, Ron. Rob asked me, how many of those presidential campaigns were winning campaigns? One. First, I want you to know I'm not so pious as the Kippah suggests. My apologies. I wear a lid whenever I'm in my kids' day school, and I should wear one here too. It's spend more time in my pocket than my head. You know, I was pleased to go last when Ariel asked me to speak. I was pleased to learn that, pardon me, that I'd get to go last because I thought I'd take the easy way out and just be the motivator to you all. But you know, now I'm concerned these guys are a hard act to follow, and there's a risk of redundancy. But I do want to end where Rob started before he did a wonderful, Dr. Saloff, before he did a wonderful analysis of the region. He talked about the need for activism, and that's what I really want to talk about, as much as others might want to hear about why image matters. Maybe I can do that in Q&A and squeeze it in a bit as well. Rob and Yoni and Hillary are 3 great newsmakers. They wear more than one hat. They're newsmakers, they're news journalists, or one of them anyway, and they're news analysts. You all are news consumers. I am too, we are too, but you're especially news consumers. And yet, I would like to, and Rob, and Ron, and the rest of us would like to turn you into newsmakers and sort of amateur journalists and analysts as well. And we want you to do that by being even better news consumers and even bigger activists than you obviously have a willingness to be just by virtue of your being here today is evidence enough of that willingness. So I want to push you hard to consume more news, to analyze that news, and to develop a strong opinion. And you know what? Honest, I don't care what it is. I have my own opinions, and they're a little left of center, but I would much rather yours be to the right of center, and you be active about them and move on them, than you not do anything at all, or you not know what to think. And it's hard what to think. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot going on even in our own community, and there are a lot of people spinning us on both sides, myself included, on behalf of my clients and in my own opinion. And yet, it's important for all of us to figure out what we think, and to be open, and to have a willingness to change what we think, and then to act on it. And I could not mean this more. So, consume news, listen to analysis, listen to opinion, and develop your own. The news piece is easy. Is there? Is there anybody here who does not get the Washington Post at home? Don't raise your hand, because shame on you if you don't. Read the New York Times online. I know it's a little pricey to get it at home, although I love getting that blue bag in the morning on my, I wish it was on my front porch, you know, halfway down my front walk, because it's just not the same, especially of, you know, I see there's a little bit of a generational thing going on in the room here, which I'm a part. And a lot of us prefer to read the paper the old-fashioned way than to reading it online. I read a lot of news online. I've got a bunch of you do too. And it's just not the same. And even my 20-something staff who tell me that they read all the newspapers online, I'm not sure I believe them, you know, because it's just not, it's not as easy to do. But read the New York Times online. And then there's so much else available to us. The Jerusalem Post is one of literally the most popular news websites in the world. And it has a tremendous amount of content. Haaretz, if you just can't get enough. JTA, and some of these, if you're afraid that your news consumption is going to be like my exercise regimen, and you're just not going to do it as often as you should, or as I'm going to try to compel you to, then you can get a lot of this by email. JTA has a daily email that's free. I'm sure the Jerusalem Post and Haaretz have RSS feeds. If you don't know what that is, it's okay. There's so much hard news to consume. NPR, no matter what you think of it, it has a tremendous amount of coverage of the region. I think it's very objective, very honest coverage, but it's a lot to be sure. Seek out analysis of the region and of the issues from places like the Washington Institute, whose analysis is extraordinary and very smart, or other think tanks. The embassy does a lot of stuff, puts out a lot of things, including again by email that you could easily subscribe to. The JCRC does. I suspect all of you get occasional JCRC email, and that they make you think. And then from the groups too, whether they're in the, whether they're in the center, AIPAC-like, or they're on the right, ZOA-like, or they're on the left, J Street-like, listen to a couple of these and that are near where you are, and let that help inform you. Attend more forums like this. I appreciate that what I'm saying is simplistic, but I'm here to make you do this. As much as I'm preaching to the choir, I appreciate you've already decided to give it a lot of your time today. Do it more, do it more. It's like the rabbi yelling at his shul that they don't come to, that people don't come to shul often enough. And of course, the people that he or she is telling it to are the ones that are in shul, So I get that. But do more of this. Do more of this. And speaking of shul, there's opinion in shul too, and their conferences. As much as I suspect you are among the influentials of your friends and your small communities, that you're the kinds of people who your neighbors and friends and other congregants come up to at Kiddush and ask you, what do you think about what's going on in the region? There are people who you consider your influentials, who you go to and seek out their advice. And you just couldn't do enough of that. And you know what? Those of us who are flattered to be among those who you ask, we don't mind, especially if it's, Kiddush at shul or somewhere social like that. Seek out those influentials and attend conferences. The AIPAC conference, we have extraordinary opportunities that we all live in the Washington area. The AIPAC conference is here every year. It's got so much going on. The J Street conference is going on downtown right now. Hillary and I just came from it. I didn't see Yoni there. It's a joke. Good. ZOA, I don't know what closet they meet in, but find it and go there. It's important if that might be kind of where your organization of the JCRC has also a terrific conference with a lot of Israel advocacy as a part of it. So consume as much as you can, as much as your busy lives allow you to on these issues, and then decide what you think. You know, what do you think? I know it's hard sometimes to know what to think. I appreciate that, but you know, you need to anyway, because if you don't, then you can't do the next thing, and that's act. That's act. And that was the first thing Ron said, and you know, and Yoni said it was an important piece, and I know Hillary thinks this too, and for sure you're going to hear about it from Ron and all the rest of the afternoon, and that's that you must act. There are too many things at stake, and that is true no matter what you think, you know. There are legitimate dangers, not chicken little dangers, there are legitimate dangers around the corner for Israel, almost no matter what you think, you know. Almost no matter how conservative or how liberal your views, maybe it's just because we're all Jews, that, you know, we think that there's always a crisis, but you know what? There very nearly could always be, and the community and the country and the people need your action. Join these groups, acquire the kinds of skills that you're going to be talking about this afternoon, and even more still. And when you do, talk to your friends, share your opinion, try to persuade them, let them try to persuade you differently if they have developed as strong an opinion as you. Write about it. You don't have to be a big blogger, but you do have to lobby or write a newspaper or a letter or say something when you're motivated because things are important to you or because you think somebody's gotten something wrong. You know, even analyze the news, and you can do it through groups like Eric's, like Camera or Flame or Media Matters on the left. But watch the news, read the news, consume the news, and see what you think about it. Don't just let it inform you. Sometimes inform them. News has never been more two-way. That's a better way to say that. Interactive than it is now. You know, you're always able to write a letter to the editor, or you know, or call an editor, or lean on a journalist. But now, you know, you can put your opinion at the end of a story online, just like that. It's never been like that before, and so you have to do it because other people need to hear what you think. You know, look at how stories are written and how the images that come with them. And even though I agree with what Hillary said, personally, I believe that the overwhelming amount of hard news coverage from mainstream news organizations about the Middle East are very objective, very honest, very fair, and very legitimate. I know there's a big difference of opinion about that in our community, but I happen to think it is. It's not like I don't think they ever don't get it wrong. I think they do, and I try to call them out on it when I think so, and I hope you will too. But it's important that you do that. Consume, decide, act. I'm not here to tell you what to think or what to say, only that you must think and you must